as Putin put it, that the United States interest comes first, all right? And when you look at the statistics, all global forums that are supposed to be promoting the world peace, and I put it in quotes, the world peace, are funded by the same people who are doing the atrocities that these organizations they fund should be preventing them from doing. Welcome to another lovely podcast of the Raya Active Show. My name is Polo Kimani, and today we're going to be discussing a lot of things, though not intensively, but we are going to be touching on a lot of topics. Recently, we have been seeing what has been happening globally, and the first thing I think it's worth talking about is what we have seen happening in Venezuela. All right? After what we have seen the Americans, the President of the United States do in Venezuela, after what we have seen the Prime Minister of Israel do in Palestine, and what we have seen both Israel and the US are currently organizing in the country called Iran, we can all come to a conclusion and conclude that what they call international law is bullshit, right? Because international law is basically supposed to ensure that what the United States, everything they have done in Venezuela, and everything the Israel have done in Palestine to Palestinians should never have happened in the first place. And if it does happen, those who are responsible for the actions that are causing what has happened to the Venezuelans and the people of Palestine should be put by the book. And by put by the book means they should be in jail. Nobody has been apprehended yet. And there's no sign that there's anybody who's going to be apprehended, because the international law, as I said, is bullshit, right? To put it to more layman terms, international law would be basically what, when your young girls at home, your girlfriends are going to tell you, I can't date an ugly man. But if this ugly man has money, he becomes an exception. She will say he has a good heart. So he has a good personality. He's ugly, but he has a good personality. So there's an exception. International law is for the weak countries, okay? If it was a weaker country in the position doing what the United States is doing, or doing what the Israel is doing, international law would have been apprehended, right? The United States flew to Venezuela, took their president, charged him in a United States court, even without considering the fact that he is not a citizen of the United States and he wasn't extraditioned to the United States. He's a president, all right? And he has also been sentenced to the United States with his wife. International law, again, I repeat, is bullshit, all right? And this is to mean us as Africans, but to be more specific, us as Kenyans, under no circumstance must we really lie to ourselves that the European laws or the international laws are coming to save us from our oppressive leaders. Because the truth is that, as Putin put it, that the United States interest comes first, all right? And when you look at the statistics, all global forums that are supposed to be promoting the world peace, and I put it in quotes, the world peace, are funded by the same people who are doing the atrocities that these organizations they fund should be preventing them from doing, all right? This is to say, you cannot do it unless they permit it. So this is to mean that regardless of how oppressive your leader is, you either being a Kenyan, you being a South African, you being a Ugandan, you being a Rwandan, or you being a Congolese, or you being a Nigerian, as long as your oppressive leader, whatever it is that he's doing, is aligning with the interests of the corporations that govern countries, the United States, which in turn fund the global forums that are supposed to be ensuring the world peace. As long as your leader, regardless of how oppressive he is, regardless of how many people he has killed, as long as what he's doing is aligned with the interest of the corporations that run these countries, they're not going to support you. You are worth more to them being oppressed than being liberated. So at this point, we must realize that our freedom is only going to come from within us. Nobody else is coming to save us. Okay? We have seen it happen in Palestine, we have seen it happen in Ukraine. A lot of people are dying, a lot of people are being killed, a lot of houses are being demolished, a lot of children are being starved to death. But the international forums are still silent. Why? Because the ones supposed to be ensuring this does not happen, the corporations that are controlling the global forums, do not want them to stop it from happening. Okay? The corporations, and when I say corporations, I mean things like, America is a country that is whose foundation is purely capitalism. Okay, nothing else. It's actually the most capitalistic country you can ever go to. Okay, everything has a price, unfortunately. Okay, so this country, and when I say corporations, I mean corporations like Boeing, which are probably the biggest manufacturers of weapons in the United States, corporations like BlackRock, corporations like you name it, everything else. These corporations control everything: the oil, the resources, the food, the banking sector, the real estate and all that. These people control the country, okay? And as long as whatever it is they are doing, regardless of where you are, as long as it doesn't happen in the United States, and as long as what is happening to you or what you are doing is beneficial to them, they don't care, all right? So this is to mean, when you look in a situation like Ukraine, the company set to benefit from the war that has been happening here, the company that is set to be sent there to do the repairs after all the bombings, that was done there during the war, between NATO, and I say NATO, I put it in quotes because it's also bullshit, NATO and the Russians. Okay, the company, the corporation that is said to benefit from this, it's on one side, you look at one side, it's the corporations that were building the weapons that were used to destruct Ukraine. And the other side, you look at the corporations that is said to benefit from the rebuilding of the cities that were destroyed. Okay, so it's a win-win situation for both sides. But the only ones losing are the citizens of these countries. Because when you look at it, the corporation that is said to benefit to build the houses, I think I saw it was BlackRock. They have invested a lot of money in that country, in Ukraine. Same thing will happen in Palestine when one company benefiting from the war is the ones that are manufacturing these weapons, and the other one that is also set to benefit is the one that is going to be contracted to come and rebuild these homes and cities that were destroyed during the war. And to understand, to put it to a more understanding perspective, these are some of the terms that are given to these leaders of these countries that are experiencing war. For war to stop, we are going to need to negotiate. All the things that have been destroyed in your country, we are going to need to be put this in contract, and for the war to stop, this and this company are going to come and help you rebuild your cities for this amount. We are going to loan you this amount, and you're going to be repaying it in this time and in this interest. So it's all business for these people. Okay? So for us as Africans, we must stop relying on them. Totally. Because the ICC is not going to come to help us to arrest our president. Yet what our president is doing is he's giving these people what they call free carbon credits at a cheaper price. He's giving them access to our raw materials. He's giving them access to land, arable land, which they can lease at a very cheap price, and they can export natural food abroad. Such things. Okay. So at no given point is the ICC or the UN or the EU or the ICJ or whatever other bullshit corporation that exists under the name of protecting the world peace. Nobody's coming to save us. That's something we must really understand. Okay? And I know the alternative for this truth is usually very scary, but if we really need to have a liberated country, it is upon us. I know it's a lot of task, it's a lot of sweat, it's a lot of dedication, but we gotta have it. There's no easy way. Nobody said it was going to be easy. It's supposed to be easy, but it's not, and nobody said it was going to be easy. And this is a message that really goes especially to the recent activity that we have had in the western region of Kenya. The people of the Kolomani who are being evicted from their ancestral homes by European companies because they have discovered gold. Okay? If you really want to have your homes, if you really want to retain them, the government is going to help you. Because remember, the same government that you are crying out for is the same government that has permitted these people, that has given them mining licenses to come and exploit your land. And the thing is, the real situation in Kolomani is that the European companies really want to make a lot of money from this discovered gold mine. The speculated number was I would say, I think it's 693 billion. But the actual figure, from how I understand corporations, they slash it by 4. They only give out a quarter of the figure of the actual figure that was discovered. This is to say there's about 2 trillion in Ikolomani. Okay? So if the people of Ikolomani are to live from their ancestral homes, they must ensure they are compensated amicably, because it's very wrong. And the same company that is trying to evict these people from their ancestral homes also has a history in Tanzania, where the late President John Magufuli gave them a very hefty fine after discovering these people had been cooking their books and declaring very low quantity and quality of the actual mineral resources, raw mineral product that they were exporting to the European countries for refining. It gave them a very hefty fine. I think they had to leave at some point. So my point is, nobody is going to save us. The ICC is not going to help us. The ICJ, the EU, the AU, which is also, I repeat, a very bullshit organization because it is basically funded by the EU. Okay? Africa must be run like Africa by Africans. Africa is our business, and we must look at Africa from an African perspective. There is no easy way out. So if the people of Ikolomani want to live, they decide to live, they must have a sit down with these company representatives and agree on a figure that commensurates the worth of this land. Because remember, this is their ancestral land. This is where they were born, this is where they were raised, this is where their grandfathers lie, this is where their great-grandfathers were born, and that is where they were buried. Okay, so there is no easy way out. Don't call on the international organizations for help. They don't care at all. We have seen it happen very many times. Look at Congo. Look at Palestine. Look at Sudan. These people don't care. As long as what the leader of this country is doing is beneficial to the corporations that run these countries, they are not going to be involved in your so-called liberation. The white man savior mentality must be removed from the African mind. For it is the only way we are going to seek, we are going to find our salvation to our liberation as a continent, as a country, as a people. That is all for today. Good. Have a good week ahead. Thank you.